Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're taking a really calming, grounded journey into the true meaning of gratitude. You know, we hear the word gratitude constantly, especially around the holidays. But let's be real, so often it just feels like a chore, or worse, this totally empty buzzword. Well, today, we're going to change that. Together, we're going to explore some incredibly powerful stories. We'll unpack the hard neuroscience behind why thankfulness literally heals our physical bodies, and we'll figure out how to actually feel grateful even when life feels unbearably hard. Okay, let's jump right into this massive paradigm shift. The Benedictine monk David Steindl-Rast flips our usual expectations completely upside down with this quote. We always tell ourselves, right, when I finally get that promotion, or when I finally find the perfect relationship, then I'll be happy, and then I'll be grateful. But Steindl-Rast points out the reverse is actually what's true. If you really look at the people around you, it isn't the ones who have everything who are the happiest. It's the ones who are grateful for whatever they have, who just radiate true joy. So, Section 1, the secret to happiness, emptying the cup. To really unlock this kind of mindset, let's look at how we approach experiencing new things. There's this beautiful ancient Zen story I want to share. It's about a curious young boy named Tao who traveled far to seek the secret of a happy life from a wise sage named Master Lin. When Tao finally arrived, he just bombarded the poor master with all these eager questions. But instead of answering, Master Lin simply started pouring tea into Tao's cup. And he kept pouring, until the cup overflowed and spilled everywhere. When Tao finally protested, the master smiled and said, "Like this cup, your mind is full of your own ideas and preconceptions. To learn this secret to a happy life, you must first empty your cup." The lesson here is absolutely profound. Happiness isn't something we just acquire or grab onto. We only experience it when we clear out our expectations and make room to simply receive the present moment. As you take a quick breather to appreciate this simple, blooming flower, remember what Tao learned. Gratitude is a lifelong journey of cultivation. It's not some final destination you arrive at. Just like a flower needs time and space to open up, our minds need to be emptied of all that daily clutter to allow inner peace, compassion, and genuine thankfulness to actually bloom. Moving on to Section 2, the neuroscience of gratitude, how thankfulness heals. Let's see how this ancient philosophy translates into modern hard science. Because, spoiler alert, gratitude isn't just poetry, it's biology. Notice the stark contrast we're highlighting here between the frantic reactivity of a stressed brain and the calm clarity of a grateful one. When we're super stressed, our limbic system, specifically the amygdala, completely hijacks us into that classic fight or flight mode. But when you engage in genuine appreciation, your brain rapidly shifts gears. The amygdala quiets right down, and the prefrontal cortex, which is the area responsible for focus, decision-making, and emotional regulation, becomes highly activated. And at the exact same time, your brain releases a huge surge of dopamine and serotonin. Those are the neurochemicals deeply tied to your mood and motivation. This perfectly leads us to a really fascinating concept: neuroplasticity. Your brain is not fixed in stone. It's constantly rewiring itself based on the experiences and thoughts you feed it every single day. By practicing gratitude consistently, you are actively laying down brand new neural pathways. You're literally training your brain's baseline to default toward balance, optimism, and emotional steadiness rather than anxiety and overwhelm. The biological benefits of all this are just staggering. Research from cardiac patients actually shows that having a grateful disposition lowers cellular inflammation and improves your sleep quality. It physically reduces symptoms of depression and increases our neurological endurance, which basically means we recover from stressful events way faster. So gratitude is quite literally a physiological tool that heals and nourishes your body. Notice the stem holding up this flower. Think of thankfulness just like that stem. It's a clinical structural support system. It's this gentle, daily practice that nourishes your mind and your body right from the ground up. But wait, what do we do when life completely falls apart? That brings us to Section 3, when gratitude feels hard, finding grace. I want you to consider the story of Twyla Franz. 7 years ago, right as the Thanksgiving season was rolling in, she found herself suffocating under 14 pounds of retained fluid, just completely exhausted. She ended up in the cardiac ICU for 2 weeks and got a devastating diagnosis: end-stage heart failure. This is a progressive, incurable condition, so you can imagine all those cheerful, seasonal commercials demanding thankfulness landed on her like a literal slap in the face. How on earth do you feel grateful when you're terrified, you're grieving, and your own body is failing you? This is exactly why we absolutely have to separate gratitude from denial. Toxic positivity lies to you. It forces you to slap on a fake smile and pretend everything is just fine and dandy. Real gratitude does not do that. Real gratitude allows you to look at your life and say, this is incredibly hard, I'm exhausted, my life isn't going the way I planned at all, but there is still something right here worth noticing. The author and podcaster Jay Shetty captures this sentiment perfectly. He says, gratitude was never meant to erase your pain, it was meant to sit beside it. When we try to use gratitude to suppress how we truly feel, it just becomes toxic. But when we allow it to pull up a chair and sit right beside our grief, it gives us permission to be both completely honest and deeply hopeful at the exact same time. Twyla had this powerful realization. Raw thankfulness all by itself isn't always enough in those really dark moments. But when you add in the unearned grace of others, like a nurse gently holding her hand, or neighbors bringing warm meals to her family, that raw, forced thanks suddenly transforms into profound gratitude. Recognizing the grace of other people during our absolute worst moments is what binds our fraying edges back together. Section 4, Steps to Grateful Living, Daily Rituals. So, how do we actually integrate this into our messy lives? Let's look at some actionable, easy steps to start rewiring our mindset. David Steindl Rast suggests a beautifully simple, almost childlike method. It's actually exactly what we teach kids when they're learning to cross the street. First, stop. We are constantly rushing through life and we miss the miracles right in front of us. You have to build stop signs into your day to just get quiet. Second, look. Open your senses, your eyes, your ears, your nose, to the richness of whatever is happening right now. And third, go. Open your heart to the opportunities around you, specifically the opportunity to do something kind for someone else.
Here are a few great daily grounding rituals you can try out. There's morning activation, which primes your brain by having you name just 1 to 3 things you appreciate the second you wake up. Then there's the gratitude breath, which brilliantly combines cognitive appreciation with a physical activation of your vagus nerve, all through a nice, slow exhale. Sensory walks are great for pulling you out of your busy head and back into the physical world. And my personal favorite, gathas. It's a practice from the Plum Village tradition where you recite short mindfulness verses during super ordinary tasks. Imagine turning on the faucet and taking a split second to realize the absolute miracle that clean water is flowing over your hands.
Now, if you're someone who prefers writing, the Prion Mental Wellness Toolkit suggests a very specific method of journaling. The key is, don't just list facts. Write down 3 to 5 things, sure, but critically explain why you're thankful for them and what caused that positive event to happen. Research actually shows that this deeper reflection, really understanding the source and the intention behind the good things in your life, is what truly builds your resilience against negative situations. Let's just take a soothing breath here. Life is really just one ordinary moment right after another. When we drift through it all without paying any attention, we become sick with a lack of gratitude. These small daily habits, this active mindfulness, it truly acts as medicine for a weary soul.
And finally, Section 5, the ripple effect, contagious gratitude. To bring this whole explainer full circle, we need to understand how gratitude extends way beyond our own minds to actually heal our communities.
I absolutely love this concept from Jay Shetty. When you are going through a season of deep pain or envy, and your own cup is completely empty, you don't have to force a feeling you just don't have. Instead, you can safely borrow the joy of others. Watch a kid laugh uncontrollably at a park or a stranger dance to music on the street. Whisper to yourself, that is beautiful. You don't have to feel it for yourself yet. Just let yourself feel it for them, completely free of judgment. The Plum Village Buddhist tradition actually outlines 4 specific objects of gratitude to help us recognize our deep interconnectedness. They are our parents, our teachers, our spiritual friends, and ultimately, all beings. True thankfulness is never just an isolated event. It's an insight into the way things actually are, the reality that we are endlessly supported by the people and the world all around us. In its ancient origins, the word for gratitude literally translates to recognizing what has been done. When we finally stop comparing ourselves to everyone else and start witnessing the incredible grace that's been freely given to us, we realize that a grateful world is built one joyful person at a time. It creates this beautiful, unending network of shared grace. So, I want to leave you with this provocative question. Look around you. wherever you're sitting right now. What is one ordinary miracle you can notice in this exact moment? Empty your cup, take a deep breath, and simply let yourself receive it. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope you carry this peaceful curiosity with you into the rest of your day.